Good morning, children. How are you all? I hope you are doing well at home. And we have started our 11th standard, and we have done introduction part in the last video. So, how do you all feel like hard your 11th commerce is? You all are feeling like tough or easy? I know that it is not the right time to give the answer, but then also I am asking. So in the last video, we have done the introduction. We have started the chapter that is collection of data, and we have done the introduction part and discussed that population, sample, and little bit other topic also we have discussed, right? I think that you all have gone through the topic once. Okay, so let's start with the further portion, and all of you take out your textbook and look into your textbook when I am reading this chapter. So, so we are on page number 2, right? Page number 2, I think 3, and the topic was qualitative and quantitative data. And we have seen the meaning and differences of population, right? So once again, I will repeat that. What is population? A group of all the units under study is called population. For example, to study the standard of living of workers of a factory, of a group of all the workers of the factory becomes a population for this study. Now the total number of units contained in the population is called the size of population. Total numbers means when we are studying the standard of living of workers, we get some numbers, means how many workers are having the number standard of living like this. We are getting some numbers, okay, that is called the size of the population. Okay, whenever we get some numbers, that is called the size of population. And if the total number of units of the population is finite, say n, we call it finite population, right? For example, finite means having an end, means exactly we are getting some numbers, that is called a finite population. Now, for example, if 700 workers work in a factory, then for this population n equal to 700 means we got the numbers. Now, how many workers are working? 700. Total 700 workers are working. So, capital N equal to 700, that is the population. And we shall call such a population as finite population. Means we can't say that we don't have the numbers, means uncountable workers are working in the factory. We can't say like this. If it is said like this, then it is called infinite population. But it is not like that. If we are we are collecting the data, we have exact numbers. Okay, if we are if we want the data of a factory workers, number of workers, so we get the exact numbers. Assumption is not fine, we get exact numbers. That is called, here it is said that 700 workers are working, it is called finite. Okay, finite population. Now a set of group of units selected from the population on the basis of some definite criterion is called a sample. If a definite criterion means total number of among this total workers, suppose I am asking the workers age above 50 years of age, how many workers are there who is above 50 years of age? Or else I will be saying that how many workers are there who is earning more than 20,000 salary? That is called the criteria. Means on what basis we are selecting this workers, on what basis we want to select the data. Okay, total 700, that is, and but from that 700, what informations we are collecting, what informations we want. Okay, means the age or the qualification or the salary. Okay, that is called the criteria. On a specific criteria, if we are selecting some person, is called a sample. Suppose if we out of this 700, if 500 or the 300 workers are earning more than 20,000, So this 300 is called small n, that is sample. Okay. So again, I will repeat, a set or group of units selected from the population on the basis of some definite criterion is called a sample. Criterion, understood? No? Now, and the number of units in the sample is termed as a sample size. Number of units means the numbers what we are getting. मैंने कहा था 300, I told you ना 300, that is called the unit, number of units. That is called a sample size, that is denoted by small n, and population is denoted by capital N. For example, if we select 150 workers from the above population, means from the above 700 workers, by any statistical method, then the group of selected worker is called a sample and a sample size n equal to 150. Okay, a unit selected in the sample is called a sample unit. Okay, the selected workers here are considered as sample units. Inspection of all the units of the population or of the sample is done for a statistical study of a problem covering different aspects. The set of all the observations obtained by such inspection is called a data. Okay, means data means what? That is also called a number only. Data means whatever informations we are getting, the set of all the observations obtained by such inspection. Inspection means what we are searching for, qualification basis based, salary based, age based, whatever informations we are collecting, whatever inspections we are doing, and on the basis of that inspection, if we are getting any numbers or numbers you might be getting, that is called a data also. Means whatever information you are getting, that is called the data. The set of all the observations obtained by such inspection is called a data. So here we learn what is population, what is size of population, what is finite population, then what is sample, size of sample, then sample unit, then data. This many definitions we learned here. So you have to write all these definitions. Okay. Now next is the units of the populations or a sample possesses different types of characteristics. It is possible that the measurement of a characteristics varies from unit to unit. Such characteristics of a unit is called a variable characteristics. It can be either numerical or non-numerical. Okay, I repeat, the units of the population or a sample possess different types of characteristics. Unit of a population or the sample means what, on what basis we are collecting the information, that is called the characteristics. It is possible that the measurement of the characteristics varies from unit to unit. Measurement means if measurement of the characteristics, if you are collecting the info, if you are searching for out of the 700 workers, if you want the number of workers whose age is more than 50, then you will get different numbers. Then if you want the workers whose salary is more than 20,000, then you will be getting different numbers like this. If you are your that units of the population or the sample possesses different types of characteristics, is it is possible that the measurement of the characteristics varies from unit to unit. हमारे सर्च के ऊपर डिपेंड है, क्या टॉपिक के ऊपर डिपेंड है, उसके बेसिस पे your measurement will be, your number of workers will be different. Means if the person who is earning more than 20,000 is also 200, the age more than 50 years age, that is also 200. It is not like that. You might be that numbers might be different. That is called the measurement of the characteristics varies from unit to unit. Such characteristics of a unit is called variable characteristics. Means different uh, uh, measurements is getting, that is called a variable characteristic. It can be either numerical or non-numerical. Okay, you are getting the information that can be numerical in numbers or in attributes. Okay, if the variable characteristic is non-numerical, then it is called qualitative variable. Okay, qualitative variable, like I told you, skilled, unskilled, employed, unemployed, then rural or urban area wise, if you are searching for like this. If the variable characteristics is non-numeric, if number is not related, then it is called qualitative variable. We shall call such qualitative variable as an attribute. I told you before, which is based on, if it is now based on number, then it is called numerical. That is quantitative. If it is not based on numbers, that is called qualitative, or the other word of qualitative is attribute. The collection of observation on the attribute is called qualitative data. The collection of observations on attribute is called qualitative data. Understood? Now, if the variable characteristic is numerical, then it is called numeric. If it is based on number, then it is called numeric variable. And the collection of observation on the numerical variable is called a quantitative data. So be sure you are writing a correct definition for numeric variable and quantitative data. Or both are different. A definition of both things, meaning is same, but the definition numeric variable, and if the variable characteristics is numerical, then it is numeric variable. And if the collection of the observations on the numerical variable is called quantitative data. Okay. In the above example, the data related to attributes like gender of workers, male or female, their education level, means how much qualification, like BCom, MCom, all the different streams, okay, is called the qualitative data. And the data related to numeric variables like the monthly income, I told you, income of the workers, their age, is called the quantitative data. Now, thus we shall say that the qualitative characteristics simply can be observed but cannot be measured on a scale. Qualitative characteristics can be observed, means if age means that qualification that can be measured. If the person is having uh, a BCom degree or 12th pass or 10th pass, we can't measure that on scale. Skilled or unskilled, educated or uneducated, okay, that thing cannot be measured on the scale. So while the quantitative characteristics can be measured on the scale, example, income in rupees, age in years, etc. Other examples could be the information related to the characteristics like religion, vegetarian or non-vegetarian, education level, etc. are called the qualitative data, whereas the information related to the characteristics like profit of a company, cost of advertisement, etc. are called the quantitative data. These are the few examples of qualitative and quantitative. You can see, if I am asking what is qualitative, then you have to like I told you in the last lecture, that if I am asking definition, so definition and one example you have to write. Okay, right? Now we'll see our next topic. That is the most important topic: primary and secondary. है ना? So the word itself says what is primary. Primary means, है ना? Primary means the starting stage. Secondary means after primary what comes is the secondary stage. Okay. अब इसमें से इतना ही समझ में आ रहा है primary and secondary. First of all, you just understand the word or the topic what we are going to discuss. First primary and secondary. Now I will tell you the meaning. See the meaning. The data obtained by any statistical inquiry must be correct and proper, otherwise no useful and valid conclusion can be drawn. The data can be primary data or secondary data. Two types of data are there, that is primary data and secondary data. Now, primary data, the data originally collected by any authorized agency or investigators for the first time are called the primary data. And for example, the data collected by NSSO, that is National Sample Survey Organization. The data of the population census of India, the data relating to the death rate and the birth rate in India published by Office of the Registrar General of India, New Delhi, are called the primary data. So in easy way, I can explain you what is primary data. Suppose I will tell you that collect the informations, go and collect the informations of 10th and 11th standard students. How many boys and girls are there in 10th and 11th standard students? I will appoint one monitor for that, and I will tell him to go and collect the information of 10th and 11th standard students of boys and girls, different numbers. How many boys and girls are there in 10th and 11th standard? Like Then that person will go, that boy will go and collect all the informations and give to me, right? Then I will give that informations to principal. Then I will give that to the sir. Then at that time, the data collected by that boy is a primary data. I am getting that as primary data. But the what the principal sir is getting from me is a secondary data, right? When a person directly, if I am collecting the data from any sources, directly visiting there and collecting the data, that is called a primary data. And if after collected by me and then I am submitting or I am giving to any third person, then that is called a secondary data. Okay, like if I will ask you what is the birth rate or the death rate in the year 2010 or 2001 or 2005, you will search in Google, right? Or you will see any magazine or something like that, or you will go into the library and search from there any book where you will be getting such details, such that numbers. Okay, that is called a secondary data. Means you are not getting directly collecting the data, you are getting that is that from any sources is called a secondary data. If I will tell, if you are get directly visiting any person and collecting the information of that person is primary, and then if you are handing over to some other person, so for that person it will be a secondary data. Simple language. Okay. Then secondary data, when an investigator or agency uses the data already collected by any other agency or investigator, then such data becomes secondary data for the users. Now, for example, the data regarding the birth rate and death rate in India published by Office of the Registrar General of India, New Delhi, are reproduced by UNO, that is United Nations Organization, in the UN Statistical Abstract. For UNO, the data becomes the secondary data. The data collected by an agency regarding some industries of Gujarat, which are later used by a research student for statistical analysis, become a secondary data for that student. Okay, just now what I told, that only the in this definition it is. Okay. Now we'll see the difference between primary data and secondary data. This question is also very much important. So, see children, if I am asking for 2 marks, na, you have to write this four. I will be asking for 2 marks only. If suppose I asked for 3 marks, 3 marks most probably I am not asking, but 2 marks I will be asking. So 4 points you have to write. Always remember, 2 marks then 4 points, 3 marks then 6 points. Okay, 1 mark then 2 points. Okay. So the first difference is primary data are obtained for the first time and it is original. Whereas the secondary data are not original, but it is the collected data reused by others. Second is primary data are collected from the units under inquiry. Primary data are collected from the units under inquiry, whereas the secondary data are obtained from the primary data. Then primary data are usually in raw form. Hence, they are required to be classified and tabulated, whereas secondary data are usually in classified and tabulated form. Right? Means raw form means जैसे numbers ऐसे होंगे, categorized नहीं होंगे 1 to 10, जैसे class में form नहीं होगा. Suppose I will be asking that number of that only I do that number of students in 10th standard, age of students is below 15, below 16 years or more than 16 years, right? Like this, if I will be asking now the data, first of all what you are collecting, that is raw data, means numbers only 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, like this. Then you have to arrange that in classification, tabulation you have learned, na? So that tabulated form, whenever you are seeing the numbers in tabulated or classified well uh, arranged form, then that is always a secondary data. Primary data is always in a raw form. Collection of primary data requires large amount of money, time and energy, whereas secondary data requires a comparatively very less amount of money, time and energy. Okay. Then primary data is almost reliable. We can trust because we are directly visiting and collecting the information, so we can trust. Whereas the secondary data are obtained by individuals or institutions for their own interest and hence may not be reliable. We are getting from any other sources. So um, if we are using that data for any important work, then we will not go for any we didn't suppose we didn't go through any one book only. Got it? We will go through many books. Means if we are searching in Google, na, so we will search in many books. If we are going in library, we will go through many books. Means we are confirming whether the data in all the books in all the site is right or not, same or not. Right? So primary data is all most reliable, and whereas the secondary data are obtained by individuals or the institutions for their own interest, and hence they may not be reliable or relevant from the point of view of the user's interest or purpose. Now, next is method of collecting primary data. There are three methods of collecting primary data. That is primary data, that is direct inquiry, visiting directly and collecting the data. Indirect inquiry means by post or like that, method of questionnaire. Right? Now, first we will see there are many popular methods for the collection of primary data. Commonly used methods are the direct inquiry, indirect inquiry, inquiry by telephone or email, method of questionnaire, inquiry by local news reporters. Okay, then we shall study the following three methods of primary data, that is the direct inquiry, indirect inquiry, and method of questionnaire. So first we will see direct inquiry. So direct inquiry. In this method, an investigator himself or an enumerator appointed by him visits personally to the field and collects the necessary information. That is direct inquiry. Directly visit the place where he want to collect, from where he want to collect the information. He directly, the enumerator means what? The person who is collecting the data is called an enumerator. Then, for example, if a person want to collect data about the condition of farmers of Sanar Taluka of Ahmedabad district, he must go to the Sanar Taluka, contact the farmers and obtain the data regarding their conditions. The information obtained by this method is called the data collected by direct inquiry. Directly visiting and collecting the data is called a direct inquiry. Okay. Similarly, a person interested in knowing the health status of the students of Municipality School of Ahmedabad city, so he personally meets the students of the school and asks the questions pertaining to their health and collects the necessary information given by them. This is also called a direct inquiry. Now, the advantages of direct inquiry. That is, the data obtained by this method are accurate and reliable. We can trust on that. We can trust on the data collected by such methods. Direct inquiry. Due to the face-to-face interviews with the respondents, enumerator can solve any questions or doubts or any confusions by giving proper explanation. Means on the spot he can clear his doubt. Okay. Means if he is not getting the answer what he want, then in hook or crook he can ask the person and he can take the data. He can collect the data. Then third is by personal interview. Enumerator sometimes gets supplementary information of the respondents which may be useful at the time of interpretation of the result. By personal interview, enumerators sometimes get the supplementary information. Supplementary information means more than what information he wants, other than that also extra information, extra thing he is getting from the person. So by personal interview, enumerators sometimes get a supplementary information of the respondents which may be useful at the time of interpretation of the results. This method is much better when the field of inquiry is limited. Means when the field is very vast, when the area coverage is very much, then this method is not applicable. This method will be taking much more time. If you have to cover more areas, so it will take more time. So when the inquiry area is limited, at that time we can go for direct inquiry. Then fifth point is sometimes when respondents are unwilling to give particular type of information, the enumerator can get such information indirectly by asking supplementary questions and giving assurance against the misuse of the information provided by them. Means when the person is going this, when this thing, this fifth point, in this fifth point, when this happens, when the person is collecting the information from the rural areas, in the village, because in village many people are, the people are illiterate, so they will not they will not give the informations directly to us. So we have to ask, if suppose I want to know his age, so if I will directly ask, ma'am, what is your age, so she will not tell me. Then I will ask, what is your birth date, what is your husband's birth date, then she will immediately tell me, like that. Okay. Then disadvantages. This method requires more time, more number of enumerators when the field of inquiry is very wide. Then second is, this method is more expensive, means travel. The person has to travel long distance, so traveling expense will increase. And the first point, more number of enumerators means one, it is not possible by one person to cover the whole area. Okay, if wide area is there, then here with one person it is not possible. So we have to appoint more number of enumerators there. First point was that. Second point is, this method is more expensive. Third point, the information collected by this method may be less reliable if the enumerators are untrained. Okay, if the person is not educated, or if the person shows, if the enumerator shows laziness for visiting each one's house and collecting the information, he will not at the end of their day, if he will not tell me that he suppose in out of 10 houses he will visit only 2 or 3 houses, and he will write all the detail, all the rest of the seven in rest of the seven places he will assumption numbers he will use. Like out of 10 houses he will visit only 3 houses. Like he want to know the age, then that age, salaries, then what illiterate or literate, like this. If any information he want, he will visit 3 houses. Then the seven, rest of the 7 places he will write the assumed numbers, means he will just तुक्का मार के कुछ भी लिख देने का ऐसा. Got it? Then next is indirect inquiry. So we will do till direct inquiry only. Yeah? In the next video, we will discuss indirect inquiry. So today, how much topic we have completed? Today, how much topic we have completed? One, this methods, collect methods of primary data from this direct, indirect inquiry and method of questionnaire. First, direct inquiry we have completed and its advantages and disadvantages. Then we have seen the differences of the primary and secondary data, right? Then we have seen the definition of meaning and definition of primary and secondary data. Then we have seen the many definitions of qualitative, quantitative, numerical variables. Then all definitions we have seen, populations, sample, data, everything we have seen. So please go through it once again. After watching this video, uh, don't close your books. First read one or two times, once or twice. You please read that topic what I have explained just now. So that will be much more clear to you the topic. Okay. And before watching and in the next class, before opening the video, please go through the topics once again. Okay. Please do this much, and afterwards I will give you the assignments and homework. Okay. So bye for now. We'll see in the next video.